Hi, everyone, and welcome to the season 2 of the Amazing Tennis Podcast. In this season, I will be interviewing a lot of coaches and a lot of players that have been on tour or are on tour currently and their insights and experiences of what it is to be on a professional tour. Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Amazing Tennis Podcast. Today, we have Marine Partaud. I probably messed that up, but it's okay. She's a French professional tennis player. The best ranking that she had was 370 at the WTA and French number 18. Currently, she lives in Delray Beach, Florida, trains here. She won 4 singles titles on the ITF professional circuit, 11 doubles titles on ITF, and she participated in Roller Girls Seniors in 2017. I have to ask you about that. And played against the number 1 in the world, Ashley Barty. And actually, a fun fact, my first tournament back that I played in Boca at 25, we played doubles together. And it was very interesting and it was a lot of fun. Marine is a good friend too, and I'm really, really excited to have you on the podcast, and thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to share that with you, and congratulations on all your episodes. They're very interesting.
Thank you. You should listen to some. I'm going to send you some interesting ones, but I think that now in the season 2, I think it's going to be more interesting because before I was like interviewing like more coaches and stuff like that. Now it's just like players and like I just told you before, kind of like life on tour and the struggles, like the people don't know what we actually go through, like what it takes to be a professional tennis player. It's not all so glamorous.
Yeah,
right?
I'm very surprised that like every time you go on a tournament, people don't realize how hard it is, like the struggles that we have, besides like all the newspaper that like all the players they talk about that, like a lot of players are talking about that, but still like people don't really know like overall, so we still need to talk about that a lot for people to understand, really.
Maybe for people to understand, bring more awareness, and maybe to like even bring more awareness to WTA, to ITF, whatever, to help us more. You never know. That's ultimately like my goal. Now social media has a really strong presence. So like, you never know. Somebody hears this and that. And I mean, God knows.
We'll of see. Course, yeah. It's also our roles as like pro tennis players to teach like young players that are coming on tour, like what they have to do, because it's individual sport. We don't have like a club like leading us like in basketball or in baseball, like they tell them, okay, you gotta be at practice at 10 a.m. and then here's your apartment covered, here's your salary. Us, we're like, okay, if we don't play, we have 0 at the end of the month, so it's way more difficult.
So can you tell me your story, like a little bit, like when you started? We don't have to talk about when you started playing tennis. When you started pro, and were you in France? When did you move to America? Like, you're just the beginning of your professional career. Did you have support from French Federation? Because I hear the French Federation is pretty good in helping sometimes, but depends. So tell me your story.
Yeah, me. So I think it's important also to talk about like a little bit before, because a lot of people are asking like, when should you turn pro, like when should you go on tour? So they're like, you never know, so a little bit before. So when I was young, I was practicing in my hometown, like a countryside in France. It was pretty small, and then I was very passionate, like I was hitting the balls against the wall for hours, and my parents were like, okay, she really likes it, like we need to put the effort, so they can help me like with their time first of all, and of course the finances. But we were not like a super rich family, like classic, and so they just like took a lot of their times on the weekends to drive me to tournaments, everything. And so I need to thank them about that, of course. And then at 15 I was French champion. And that's when the federation got like an alert, kind of, because I was complete outsider, and then I won the title, and they were like, oh, okay, maybe we should help this girl. And so I started to be like in the French team, championships and then world championships, and then I started to be helped a little bit with the federation. But then at 18, if you don't have a certain ranking, it's like a lot of federation, you don't get helped anymore, and so you're by yourself at 19 and you're like, okay, what am I doing here? It's such a small town. I need to move to bigger towns to have like more sparring partners, hitting partners, to have like better structure of practice, kind of. So I had to move to Paris at this time, and but I was lucky because, coming back to your question, when I got French champion, then I had a level that permit me to go on tour already. Okay. So I started like the 15Ks, and kind of like right away I won a 10K, and then it was 10K back then.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean now it's W15, but it's 10K prize money, right? Right?
I think it's
15. You see, I don't know. I'm learning also, because W35 is 25K.
Yeah. Oh well, yeah. They changed it this year.
It's points, 15 points, but it's still 10,000. But before it was just 10,000. I don't know. But I heard next year it's gonna be 15K and 15 points. We'll see.
Anyways, they keep changing on the points, on the categories. It's a mess since COVID. Like, they're trying to
figure it out.
Yeah,
we can talk more about it later, because I don't even know still. But wait, so you started playing, you won your first pro tournament when you were like 16?
When I was 17, yeah. And I was tough choice because I was finishing high school at the same time, and I had this opportunity already to go to college. Tennis in America, like a lot of schools, because I was a good student too. So I was like, should I go to college or should I turn pro? But back then, like maybe 10 years ago, it wasn't as easy to play some pro tournaments in the same time as college. So I was like, okay, either I stop pro for 4 years and I graduate, which is also cool, or I try to go pro and start learning online. So that's what I decided, because I really wanted to play still. I didn't want to stop on the pro circuit, and I won my first title at 17. So at this age, you want to keep going. You're like very motivated.
But you had the finances to play pro, or like, because I was in the same boat, but I decided for college because mostly of the money. So.
Yeah. Well, at the beginning, so the federation was kind of still helping me at this age. And also my parents, and I had few sponsors back home, yes, that were helping me. Like, I don't know, the bakery of my village
nice.
Something. Yeah, they were giving me like $1,000 here and there. And, nice. Like, I was maybe getting maybe 10,000, and then I could go to some tournaments that were closed, or maybe I was driving to some tournaments. Of course, I was not able to go very far in the planet, like reaching those weaker tournaments kind of that are further away than Europe, because in Europe it's very strong, the level.
Yeah, it is.
So, but that's how I started.
And looking back now, do you wish that you went to college? Do you think about it sometimes? Do you think you made the right decision? Like, if somebody is in your shoes now, a 17, 18-year-old girl that has an option to go pro or to go college, what would you advise?
Well, maybe nowadays it changed a little bit, because I think like going in college tennis can also be a very good opportunity, and you can also, I know some girls in college, they can have exemptions to still go to tournaments, during the year, not only in the summer. So I think now the system got better to be pro and study at the same time. But me back then, I don't regret my choice, because it wasn't as easy as now, as I said. So no, it was the right choice, I think, at this time, and I really wanted to play. So, after I got injured a lot because I wanted to play. So I had this very big motivation. So I pushed my limit too many times and I got injured. But this I couldn't know. When I was 17, I just wanted to play, and no, I don't regret that choice. But yeah, if I have an advice to give, it's to still think about after career. I know when you're like 17 or 18, it's hard. You just want to play, hit the ball, and that's very good. You need to keep that. But I think it's also important to keep the studies side, like graduate on a bachelor or something, even though like you do it in few years more, you know, I did a bachelor in 5 years instead of 4 in France because I could have this online school that was very good. But it's good at the end, even if it's 5 years, you still got graduated at the end, and you think about your future, you know, because tennis life it's not only until like 50 years old. You have to stop at some point.
Or if you're coaching, I don't know. Today's video is sponsored by Lucky in Love. Gone are the days of ladies golf and tennis apparel that all look the same. Lucky in Love is ushering in a new age. The high-end women's apparel brings options fit for the modern, expressive woman. Partake in the ultimate luxury and shop Lucky in Love for your new favorite fashion items for women and use code EB20 to get 20% off your next purchase. So what did you graduate in?
Politics, sciences, and economics. Okay. In France. It's called Sciences Po, Paris. It's a school that allows you to go online, to do everything online. And you can also go there if you were there, but I was mostly on tour, so I went there a few times. But
So you graduated then, when did you move to US?
So I came for the first time to do a preseason in 2017. But I was actually doing these studies at the same time. So I was already in the kind of moving to the US while I was doing my studies in France still.
Okay.
But yes, 2017 already. Mm-hmm.
And you've been living here since 2017?
Yeah, but kind of on and off, I would say, because I have my boyfriend here, but I still have all my family and my friends in France. And here in the summer, it's too hot to practice. It's so hard.
Yeah.
So I spend most of the time in Europe in the summer, and then winter here because it's easier. So that's kind of perfect setup.
It's perfect. And I saw this year you were commentating in Roland Garros. Did you do that last year too? Or?
Yeah, it's been like 5 years now. I'm doing
really?
It. Yeah.
How come did you get into that, field?
How come? I don't remember. At the beginning, it was 2020, when it was in October, this special edition. And that was the girl actually that I played like 10 years ago, I remember, in the French Championship. She's working for French TV, and she called me. She's like, "Oh, would you be interested to be in a commentator for French Open, and maybe I can put you in touch with the guy that manages it." And I'm like, "Yeah, why not?" But I've never done that. We do interviews in tournaments here and there, but you never do like commentating. So I didn't know how I was at this exercise. And that was funny because the first time I got there, so he accepted it. He was like, but he didn't know me, so that's weird. I could have been like completely bad. He didn't know. Yeah. So I arrived there the day before, and he's like, "Oh, you have to press this button, and then you talk on the match, and then you talk whatever you want." And I'm like, "Oh, wow, okay." And first match I had to commentate the day after, it was Murray Wawrinka, first round.
Wow.
And I'm like, "Come on, can you put me like on the back court or something with center court?" Everybody listening. I'm like, "Okay, yeah." But I liked it right away.
Okay.
It was cool. When it's been like 20 years you're playing tennis, you know that sport. You know what you're talking about,
I know, but still, it's like...
Yeah.
It's not easy. Everyone is listening to, your comments that are in your head, right? Like...
True.
But it looked so fun, at least this year, what I saw. It just like, I don't know, you get to be there on site. You get to watch this and just be surrounded in this environment. At least to me, it looked cool. I don't know how your experience. Do you like it? Or?
No, I love it. Actually, I love it because that's very interesting, because on my side, I can bring some information that the journalists, they don't have, from the inside, from the locker rooms, the girls that I see on tour the whole year. So I bring them some like information, some gossip sometimes, which makes like the comments very entertaining. Yeah. So it's very cool, and we have like a good combination with a journalist that brings like all the, the facts of the players, welcome to Roland Garros, whatever. Yeah. So, and I bring more like the tennis part, tactical, what they feel in their head, because I can feel them on the court. When I see them, I'm like, oof. So that's tough. You know every situation.
Exactly. You know, like exactly where they're on in their head, and you're like, oh, I've been there. I know exactly how they're feeling right now.
Yeah.
But that's another thing, like the mental side of tennis. So when did you reach the 370? What year was that?
It was 2021.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, and tell me a little bit more, like where you're at, like now with mentally. I know we just talked about your motivation is a little bit up and down because, first of all, like you mentioned a good point earlier, like other sports, you have a club, you have people that guide you, you do this, you do that, you have salary. For tennis players, we're basically doing it all on our own, right? You're figuring out everything from finances, from scheduling. You don't have anybody to tell you, okay, here is the money, go play this and this tournament, practice this much, do this. No, it's like figuring out who you're going to practice with, organizing your training schedule, figuring out what tournaments you're going to play, if you're going to get housing here, if this ticket is more expensive. Like, there's just so much that goes into it, right? And then it's like you put all this energy and time into that, and then it's like, okay, I have to play too, I have to focus on my game as well. Yeah. So what has been like the biggest struggle for you, like playing all these years, and why did you kind of like lose your motivation?
Well, I think it's like throughout the years it becomes more and more difficult, as you said, to be by yourself because you need to organize everything by yourself. I mean, you just said that. So when you have the motivation when you're young, it's very good, whatever. And but at the end of your career, you know, it starts to be more like a struggle. You want to be more settled down because it looks good from the outside, from the social media. Oh, you're traveling everywhere. Wow, that's good. You're going there. Oh, you traveled more than 40 countries. Yes, but I spend my life in my suitcase and in the airports, you know, in the lanes, like in the airplanes. So it's not as bright as you see it from the outside, especially the side to be lonely, I think. That's why a lot of girls they like to play doubles too because you know if you have a partner, you can travel with her, you can share a coach. But it's true that when you have a coach, you play better. I mean, me, that was the year that I invest on a coach.
Okay.
That I got my best ranking. Of course, I cannot deny that, but it was also like $35,000 a year for my coach and probably around 30 for me. So like one season costs you around $80,000. So you see, if you don't have sponsors, it's hard to afford that for everybody, you know. So it's a lot of money. So of course it works to have a coach also for the emotional part and the motivation part, everything, of course, and the organization part because it helps you to okay. I found you a player at this time, this and that, as we said about like common sports. So it releases you from this energy, the coach kind of. But when you're by yourself and you need to do it on your own for years and years, at the end you lose a bit of motivation. I think that's where I'm right now. Like since we played in Boca in April, and I was a bit down already, and now I kind of enjoyed the summer, you know, for the first time with my family and friends, because I wanted to just stop in my head, like, because it's been like 20 years I go in holidays, but when you're in holidays you cannot really enjoy it because you know that if you stop 1 week you're gonna have like 2 weeks of practice after, and it's gonna be so hard, and so you can never really like unplug, you know, and enjoy fully as a tennis player because it's throughout the year. We don't have season, you know, it's all year, and if you don't play for 1 month then you drop your ranking, and you're always under this pressure, like mental pressure and also physical pressure, because if you don't practice then you lose so fast. That also like common sport they don't have, because you can hide behind your partners, you know. You in tennis, if you don't good on the court then you're not good. You know, it's So yeah, I mean, this pressure always throughout the years. I just wanted to say I take one summer for me to enjoy, not think about anything, and I liked it, But of course, when you don't play for a while, you miss tennis so much. It's like a drug, when I wasn't doing sport or tennis for 2 or 3 days, just hitting the ball, even for fun, it was like missing so much.
Yeah.
And I felt really like, I don't know, I never took drugs, but I felt like the drug effects actually. Saying
Like
that I had
addiction.
something like missing in me,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
for my, I don't know how to explain, but I was feeling nervous at the end of the day if I didn't do sport,
Like
or
anxious,
it's not tennis, but at least sport, at least exercising.
Like the adrenaline, maybe. Is it the adrenaline of the competition, or is it just playing sports?
No, doing sport, like exercising.
Yeah.
I felt more during holidays. I mean, this summer, that's what I felt. Like if I don't exercise, I have too much energy at the end of the day, and I'm like very nervous.
I mean, you could go on a run or you go to a gym or something.
That's true.
But do you so do you feel like more recharged now, and you feel like you're ready to go again, or you're kind of like, I don't know if I want to do this again?
Yeah, I'm like, I think I have two ways in front of me. Either I stop and I open my eyes to like so many more projects in life, and see what life is gonna bring me, or like, okay, I'm gonna go fully again, with a like good structure, good budget, a coach that go with me, like put everything together as you did, like you decided to go, but you're going like with a proper way,
I'm not. We'll talk about it.
But like the in-between
Yeah.
thing, it's tough because you don't do everything perfect, and then you're like in the middle, and you play but without like a lot of motivation, and it's not good. So either you go 100% one way, or 100. I mean, that's how I am. Not everybody's like that, but that's how
But I
am.
think that's the way to do it, though.
Yeah.
Like if
Also.
you really want to make it.
Of
right?
course.
So
Yeah.
it's like, because you can, I'm not like, I'm figuring it out, right?
Yeah.
I am, honestly, I don't even know like what I'm doing.
Well, that's not what you told me in April since the last time
So
I
what
told
did I
you.
tell you? So I'm a different. What is that? It was April. What is that? September. What did I tell you in
Yeah,
April?
it was almost 6 months
That
ago.
was the first tournament I played. Now I'm like few months in. So tell me, what did I tell you? I'm very actually curious.
Well, I mean, when I practiced with you and when we played doubles, you seemed like very, very motivated, like you were when you were 15, like very...
I am.
Like,
I am. Yeah.
Like, I don't know, when I watched you play, even in singles, you were so motivated, so focused, you knew where you wanted to come back. And you seemed very happy to come back, even at practice. And you remember you were telling me like, you look a little fried, and I'm like, you look like very energetic.
Now I'm like a little fried.
Again.
April, May, June, July, August, September. It's been almost 6 months.
No, I mean the comeback after 8 years. I was telling you the comeback after 1 week, and what about after 8 years? Of course, it's gonna take you at least 1 or 2 years. I mean,
but that's it, and I feel like I finally accepted that, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I kind of expected from myself that I'll just continue where I left off, right? But no, like it's just so much, right? So much.
Yeah.
And I also have 2 kids, right? And I just went through a divorce. So even if you're doing this after 8 years, but you're alone, right?
Yeah.
I literally went through a complete life change, right? And it's like, okay, now figure out, I have to take care of them too when I'm here. I have to make money. I have all sponsors here and there, but it's not enough. So
Yeah. No,
I'm trying to get more, because for me, it's not just paying for my tournaments and the coach. I need to provide a place for my kids. I need to pay for their school. I need to pay for their activities. Like that alone is a lot, right?
Yeah.
And then me trying to make it. So I think I've been trying to balance it all, and then like, okay, things are, but it's tough. Like I cannot afford to pay a coach. Like you said, either you're 100% in or you're not. I'm like, okay, maybe I can do it alone because I've been a coach for 8 years. I've been coaching, I know, but like, and I can kind of guide myself.
Yeah, but it's not the same.
It's not the same because it's really not the same. I'm grateful I have people in my corner that are willing to help me without really charging me, from tennis, fitness, like everything, hitting. I'm really, really grateful for those people. They know who they are. But at the same time, it's like I can't do it like that forever too. Like a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit this, a little bit that. There's no like true structure. I believe in when you have a structure, when you have a plan, when you have a goal, and then you work towards it to execute it, then it's good. But like when you're kind of like 1 foot in, 1 foot out, try this, try that.
Well, it depends on the goals too, like if the goals are not so high and you want to do a bit of everything, it would work. But if your goal is like to play the slams, you have to put all your focus like 100%. There is no place for something else. I mean, if you do it for 15 years, like complete focus on this, and we were like what 400, you were 400 too, no? Around that ranking. So like it's so complicated already, much, like, so if you have things on the side and your brain is starting to think about here and that. I mean, I don't know how you do with your kids and everything. You seem like a hero for me. I swear, like traveling with your kids, I'm like, wow. I don't know how she does, but
it's a lot. Yeah. But it's, I really, like, I just spoke to another girl the other day, and she's like, I don't know how you do it, and like you're crazy for doing this, right, at this age, and she's like how do you do it? But then I'm like, I want to do it for like personal reasons, right? Because so many of the girls that are on tour right now that I talk to, and when I'm traveling and everything, they're like, oh, they've been on tour for a long time, right? And they're burnt out, they're around that same ranking, not making much money, not much stability, and they're like, I just want stability in my life.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I want to have a job, to be in my apartment, to have my house, whatever, and just to have a normal life. I feel like every player that I talk to that's been on tour for a while, they're just wanting that life so bad. The normal life, right? Not a tennis player life, because you're so tired from everything. I had that normal life. I kind of am doing like a different way than most of the people. I stopped. I had a normal life. I had that stability, and I know how it feels. But like you said,
so how it feels from your side?
That's what I was gonna say.
I'm on this point.
So, you know how you were saying like this summer you were like you're missing it, like imagine 8 years missing it. Like I had a good life. I had a great stable life, great house, job, financially, everything perfect on the picture, on the outside, right? Like you say, for tennis, it's not all glamorous how it looks. That also is not all glamorous as it looks, that great stability life. I was, like I had a good life, but that piece of me, the void that I had, I could not fill it with anything. I would sign up for a marathon. I was a Pilates instructor. I was like challenging myself with like random things to try to challenge myself and push myself. I mean, we all have different personalities. I'm like that I constantly want to like push myself in something, right? And I cannot just, there are people that can just live a life, go to job, get home, watch TV, have dinner, be with kids a little bit, and that's it. For me, no. Like I need something to drive me to wake up today, that I'm excited to live today.
Well, I think that's the purpose of like pro athletes.
Exactly.
I feel exactly the same.
And that's how we are, and how we're wired. Our brains are wired like that. So for me, it was, and I stopped young. I was 24. and I was, 460 singles, 140 doubles. I had 6 months not to defend anything. I could have kept going, but stopped because of personal reasons. And the thing is, you don't want to live a life, and that stable life, and constantly ask yourself, what if? Because even when you're 40, you can always have that life. That life is always going to wait for us. The job, the house, the family. It's never too late for that. It really is not. And then that's what I'm trying to say to people that have some dream, that want to do something in their life. Like, if you don't do it for yourself, it's gonna eat you alive. It ate me alive. I had mental issues. I was struggling with things internally a lot. Now I'm so much more free. Yes, I'm is this life easy, the tennis life? No. Most of the times I'm miserable, alone. Then I have my kids, I miss them. I'm in the middle of nowhere playing a 25K against a 16-year-old, right?
In qualies
with no points, no money. It's if I put it in that perspective, because I believe in life, everything is about perspective, how you look on things. If I look at it from that perspective, oh, I miss my kids, or why am I doing this, then I'm never gonna be able to be and play my best. Or I'm okay, Emma, you decided this, you're fully in, let's give it a shot. So that's why last few months for me have been tough, because I haven't been fully in, right? I decided to do this, I want to, right? I'm really bad still. But you have all these, was that the right decision? Was that, I have to cut it and be fully in, you said, because the more I'm doing it, the more I'm realizing with tennis, and you're saying it too, you have to be 100% in. There is no other way around with everything, mentally, physically, with your schedule. But then we go back to the finances part. Today's episode is sponsored by MatchSet. MatchSet is an amazing company that provides players with incredible equipment and apparel. With MatchSet, equipment does matter, and they make sure it won't slow you down. Use code tenniswithema to get 10% of Match Tennis today.
Yeah, but what's very hard as a pro athlete is that, because we were built this way of the rankings always go higher and higher and higher. And the thing is that we never got satisfied where we at,
Yes.
We started to play and we wanted to play better and better and better.
Yes.
Okay, I'm 1,000 nowhere. Oh, that's good. Oh, no, that's not enough. And then you're 800. Oh, no, that's not. You're 400. But that's not enough. I want to play the quali slams.
Yeah.
And then you play the quali slams. Oh, no, but I want to be top 100. Oh, but I'm top 100. Oh, but I want to be top 50.
Yeah.
I want to, And if you, even the number one in the world, I don't even know if he's satisfied. You see Djokovic? He's okay, I have 20 slams. Oh, I want 25 slams.
Yes.
So that's something that we always looking for, performance, excellence. But the thing is that I talk about that with the psychology the other day. Is that's not how it works in life, because if you function like that, you're never going to be satisfied of what you live, what you do, and that's what's very hard to me now, because I have exactly the same mentality, and I think a lot of pro athletes, they're like that because we were built like that again. And so in life, I'm always okay, do I take this choice or this choice? Oh, but what's the best one, and I take a choice and I'm oh, maybe the other one was better, and she told me, but you cannot be like that, because you don't have you're so perfectionist that you don't have a bottom. So then you can always dig and dig and dig, and you're never gonna find the end, because you always want more, which is good, because it allows you to do a lot of things, because we're very curious. You do a lot of stuff, and it challenges you, as you said. But the bad part of this is that we are never satisfied, and that's what's tough in normal life, that we need to learn also. That okay, I have all this settled, and I think it's a good settle down too, and we need to.
For sure, but I think you have to be ready for it, right?
Yeah.
Back then, I was too young and not mature enough.
No, of course.
I know there's gonna be time in my life where I'm gonna be like, okay, this part of my life is done. I've done everything. I've literally done everything and put everything that I can. I made it or I didn't make it. I'm ready for the next chapter, right? There, it was like a sudden stop, and I wasn't really ready for the next chapter. I just kind of like went into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like when you know with yourself, and I know the time is gonna come for me. Maybe I said I'm gonna give myself 2 years. Maybe in 2 years I'm like, okay, I'm done. This is not. I can't. I'm not getting anywhere. Or I will be getting somewhere. Like, okay, I'm still going, but I want to make that decision, and I want to feel it within me that I'm done, right?
Yeah.
And you will know that, and I will know that when I'm truly done. But do
you think so?
I think so. I think so.
That one day.
I think so.
I think we're never done. That's the thing.
With playing tennis?
I think we're never gonna be done, as you said, like, because
you were never gonna be done with like looking for more and trying to do more, right, with our lives. But with my tennis.
Well, you said that for 8 years you had this part missing because you were not playing, so you came back playing, and I don't know. You think it's not gonna miss you after? Me, yes. I think it's gonna miss me all my life. That's
yes, but different, Marine. Like, I missed it, because I knew I can still play. When I'm above 40, I know I can't play at that level anymore. Like, my time is gone. And of course, I'll still go and play tennis and fulfill that part that I miss, right? But it's a different miss.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Does it make sense? Yeah, of course, like, we will miss it, but you will be ready to move on with your life and with something else, right?
Yeah, true.
You know what
when
I mean?
You get to a certain age, you know that you cannot be a pro athlete. Yeah, you're right.
But like that, like if you stop now at 29, right? Then you're gonna go and do something else, but you will miss it, but miss it kind of like, oh, what if I continued playing? Maybe I could have done this, or maybe I could, like, unless if you know with yourself, okay, I can't, this is my limit, I'm played my best tennis, and I can't play better, so I can't make it,
Yeah, we always come back to the same point. Like, I think you can play better, but with a mental coach, with a fully time coach, a fitness coach, all the structure, and you can play better if you spend like $200,000 a year to afford those coaches.
Exactly.
And of course you can play better, like.
I just saw a reel that Sabalenka did. Well, obviously Sabalenka has all the money in the world, so it's hard to compare. But like, she's still struggling with the same things, right? And she was like, she was saying that at the end of the day, she has a mental coach, a fitness coach, a hitting partner.
Yeah, there are literally 5 on her court. I practiced next to her the other day. There are 5 coaches on her court for her.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, but she was like, at the end of the day, I have to take responsibility for myself. Like, nobody is gonna help me, not my psychologist, not my therapist, not my coach. I have to help myself the most. And that's the one thing that I'm realizing as well.
Yeah.
You think like, oh, if I get a perfect coach, if I get a perfect mental coach, then my game is going to come together, then everything's going to be fine. Yes, it will help you, right? But in the end of the day, you're the one that can help yourself the most.
Yeah, no, of course. You see all those little kids here, they have all the money in the world, they invest so much, and they still don't turn pro because they're not good enough. So of course it comes from you, of course.
At the end of the day, it really, I don't know, there's so much that we can go about this and that, but we're struggling, we're doing our best. So what's your plan moving forward? Do you have a plan, like what you want to do, or you don't know?
That's not the best period to ask me like if I have a plan, because
I don't know. If you don't, then you don't.
Well,
Do you have a coach? Do you have...
Well, I still practice. Like, I still enjoy practicing, but it's more like the fact of like traveling alone and still. I mean,
you can travel with me.
There we go. Let's go. Let's be doubles together again.
Exactly.
But I don't want to see you with old bandage and everything. You were like a mummy.
That was my first tournament. Literally, I was just talking to a friend the other day. I'm like, oh my God, how far I've come. I just played a tournament in Serbia. I did not go to physio at all. Like, I played 2 rounds of qualies, 1 main draw I passed, then I lost it. But like, I played 4 matches. I wasn't taped. I wasn't dying. Ooh. Nothing was hurting, knock on the wood here. But like, going back to that first tournament, my body was in shock. Like, one thing is to train, other thing is to go and play matches, and the stress, the nervousness, everything in your body.
It's completely different.
So I was like, I thought I was ready physically, but when I started playing then singles, then doubles, then... So now I'm good. But the problem is I don't have ranking in doubles. I mean, I have like 1,000 something. So I can't get into these. I just went to Dallas for a 50K. And one of my friends, I used to play with her doubles before, she's top 30 in the world right now in doubles. So she came just to play singles that tournament. Mm-hmm. And I was like, can we please play doubles? Like, I need to get points. And we won 2 tournaments before in doubles together. And she's like, oh, I'm here only to play singles. I'm like, can you please, like, just please... We signed, she's like, okay, let's do it for good old days. We signed up, we didn't even get in with her 29 ranking in the world. We were first alternate because I'm like 1,200, right?
And you didn't get a wild card?
No. So that's why the only way for me to get my ranking and to get the points is to play 15Ks, because we'll get into 15Ks and win them. And build the ranking, and then we can play the higher ones, right?
Yeah.
So if you want to go, I'm thinking about October, going 2 weeks in Mexico for 2 15Ks. We can go together, or we can play doubles.
Voila!
I'm serious, but only if we're going to win. I'm not taking anything else.
Oh, come on. Yes.
Yes. So anyways, we'll talk about that, but... I have questions, but we only have 5 minutes left.
Oh my God, we talk so much.
Exactly. I told you this is how it goes, and because we kind of like cover some things, but I wanna. What's the best advice you have gotten in your tennis career? It can be from a coach, from a player, something you've heard, or one thing.
I think that was from my coach when I was young. He was keeping on telling me, like, control what you can control. And I think it's a very good quote, because when you're on court and you start complaining about the wind, the sun, the crowd, the crowd, we don't have crowd, but...
the 2 people that are watching.
But whatever, your dad or mom or everything, you're like, okay, I'm, at the end of the day, the only one on this court, and I need to find solution. And if you don't want to lose energy on everything, you need to control what you can control. And so the wind, the sun, and everything, you cannot control that. You can control your emotions. You can control what you're going to do, your goals on the next points, how you're going to move on the court. This you can control, but all the rest, you cannot. So that would be my advice.
I love that. And it's always so good to bring yourself to that. Okay, like, just whatever is in your control. I love that. What do you think separates a player that's top 500 and that's top 100? Like, what do you think, what's in between? Like, why is it so hard for a lot of players to break through and get to that?
Yeah, it's very hard to see it from the outside, I think, because there's not a huge difference of hitting. I mean, of course, if you see Sabalenka, of course, he hits harder than us, you know. Yeah. But like a top 20, I don't know, like a Irani or, those type of girls, they don't hit harder than us, you know. Yeah. And it's really hard to see, but I think a lot of details, as we said, like I think the structure around you, the people that surround you. I think I've always said that it's a little bit of everything everywhere, you know, a little bit more mental strength, a little faster on the court, a little stronger, hitting the ball a little harder, and that all those little details that makes a huge difference at the end, you know. But from 500 to top 50 in the world, I mean, in the pure game of tennis, I mean, you can, you know, practice with top 50 in the world easy, you know, and you won't tell someone from outside won't tell the difference. It's very like how you manage your emotions on the important moments in match, like how you control that, and I think it's
and I think it's about consistency.
Of course,
doing it week in, week out. Not like have a great week and then 5 weeks awful, you know.
Of course.
I really wish we can break into top 200, and I just want to play one Grand Slam. That's all I want, and then I'll be happy and done. Well, probably not, like you said, then I will want another one. But at least it's good to have a goal and to have a dream and to go for something.
Oh, of course.
You know, mine is just to play at the Grand Slam. So whichever way, doubles, singles, I don't know. Doubles, I really think I can. Like, I really believe in myself. I love playing doubles. It's a different game. It's a completely different game, and I enjoy it so much. So
you can go and carry your doubles together and play the slams together. Here we go.
I mean, we're
not gonna be lonely at least.
But it's like we just like if we get a few good tournaments in a row and then you start playing bigger ones, it's very possible with a good plan. So, anyways, we're out of time. The last thing, I know you said not to ask you about your favorite books. I'm not going to.
But you can ask me my favorite TV show.
Oh my God, what's your favorite TV show?
No, I don't know. But I just wanted to go to that point because you didn't talk about the fact that I just played in Emily in Paris.
Oh, yes!
You didn't talk about that.
I'm sorry. You see, like, why didn't you remind me? So what was that? I have to watch it.
You guys need to watch me in the first episode, season 4. I'm in Paris,
4,
and they shoot in French Open in Roland Garros.
Oh, nice! Look at you.
So that was very funny experience. But,
okay. Yeah. Well, we'll talk about it next time. Where can people find you on social media?
Instagram mostly. I think it's Partaud Marine.
Okay. So just your name.
And my name, and I am starting on TikTok, but I think I'm too old for that.
What am I then?
But no YouTube channel yet, no podcast channel yet.
So just Instagram,
Twitter. I mean X.
I never had that. So.
And whatever, LinkedIn. Classic ones, kind of.
Good. Well, thank you so much for being here today. We're going now to practice.
Yeah.
In this heat, can't wait. It's nice in the AC here.
I know.
It's about balance. Like, that's why I'm doing this. I really love this. Like, I love doing this. Like, I love talking to people, going for coffee, lunch, dinner. I'm like, I can make it into a business. I can sit here and have a conversation with you and make it a business.
Voila.
I love this. I really enjoy this. So we'll do another one for sure. Maybe we can bring your boyfriend on next time and we can have a 3-way chat. He's a coach. And
of course.
I don't know if he likes this stuff or no. Sometimes I ask people and they're like, I'm not really into this stuff. But I know that you're commentating. So that was perfect.
I like to talk, so you were the good target for today.
But thank you so much again.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for listening.
Yes.
And bye-bye.
See you guys next time.
Thank you so much for supporting and listening to our podcast. Make sure to follow us on social media.
And be sure to listen to next week's episode of the Amazing Tennis Podcast.